My buddy Mark Meckler, leading the charge on Convention of States. He's got an important report for us, which we will do from time to time. I want to talk to you, Mark Meckler. How are you?
I'm great out here in the field with the Grassroots. It's where I love to be, Mark.
Let us start with Arizona, and then we'll deal with Utah. Now, these are two states we need to have and we ought to have, so go right ahead.
Absolutely. Well, you know, Arizona last year and the last few years we've passed in the House, no problem. We've gotten to the Senate. And, Mark, as you know and talked about last year, we had a Senate president last year, Andy Biggs, who just stuffed us, literally. I mean, he just wouldn't even let a vote. He wouldn't let any consideration of it. This year things are different. Biggs has moved on. He's in Congress, and we have a chance in the Senate right now. We're going to have a vote this week. There's a leader in the Senate that seems to be emerging, and that's Senate Majority Leader Yee, and she seems like a real person, a real citizen leader with a potential future. The vote's going to be close. It's early next week. If she stands strong and leads on the issue, we're going to make it across the finish line in Arizona. Andy Biggs be damned.
Yeah, so Andy Biggs winds up in the House of Representatives backed by conservative groups that don't even know what they're doing. And this is the guy that's sloated in the Senate. And, all right, so Majority Leader Yee, folks in Arizona, you might want to contact her and encourage her in a very polite way to allow the vote. Now we have a problem going on in Utah, which is really crazy. Go right ahead.
It's crazy. I mean, you're talking about, I think, one of the greatest conservative states. It's a very well-managed state on the ground. But you got, believe it or not, the 12 guys from the John Birch Society creating a lot of fear. So what happened is we made it through the House. A great sponsor in the House, Representative Merrill Nelson, did a fantastic job. We had a big majority in the House. We won there. We got into the Senate, and we've always been told by Senate leadership that if we could get it over there, they would get it done. And instead, they pulled some shenanigans. They voted early on us, and we went down. And the way we went down, Mark, is unbelievable. What they did is the Democrats voted against us, along with a minority of Republicans stood against us, and they killed it. And one of the leaders of this meltdown, this unbelievable, disgraceful meltdown, is a senator by the name of Bramble. Last year, he took our bill and said he would sponsor it. Ultimately, I think he killed it. This year, he asked us to make some changes. We did, and he voted against us. He voted with the Democrats. So we have literally our Democrats and Republicans banding together to keep the power in Washington, D.C.
In Utah. Now, who's Bramble? What's his whole name? Do you know?
He's Senator Bramble, and he is a senator there in Utah, and he just, for whatever reason, has decided that he likes the power in Washington, D.C. You know, they have serious issues there. They don't like the federal government involved in their education. They have a lot of federal...
Well, hell, Obama just signed this monument thing and nationalized another big chunk of Utah.
That's called the Bears Ears Monument. They're just outraged by it, but when they have the chance to do something about it, in the Senate there, they're weak, and they don't do something about it. They moan, they complain about it, and then they actually have the chance to vote, to get into a convention and do something about it, to force these lands to be turned over, and they vote with the Democrats to keep power in Washington, D.C. We still have a chance for reconsideration. Folks need to pound on the Utah Senate. Just everybody in the Senate, let them know you want them to bring this up, and you want
who's funding the John Birch Society? I mean, this is a small, really irrelevant group, and yet their single obsessive focus seems to be stopping us.
You know, that's it. Honestly, Eagle Forum, again, there in Utah as well, causing problems. And
how about Concerned Women for America?
Not as much. Mostly Eagle Forum and the John Birch Society here in Utah.
Unbelievable. And that they would have this kind of clout. And all right, so you folks in Utah, you better get a hold of your state senator as fast as possible. You folks in Arizona, get a hold of your state senator. And thank Majority Leader Yee if, in fact, Majority Leader Yee is going to get behind this and allow a vote. We can use these two states and then Texas behind, and we can get some momentum going here.
You know, we got Texas coming up next week. Mark will report in on that, but that's looking good. I think that's going to come out of the Senate next week. You know, with your support and everybody else's support out there, Texas is looking good in the Senate, and then we'll move over to the House.
Mark Meckler, keep it up, baby. We appreciate all you're doing and all the hundreds of thousands of people who are working with you. Thank them for us, too, would you?
Thank you, Mark. Appreciate it.
All right, God bless. It's important. Well, you know, the nationalist populace, and here, we're actually doing stuff. I love these guys that say the problem with conservatism is they don't actually do anything. It's in the think tanks. It's elitism. Ladies and gentlemen, You just heard Mark Meckler. There's hundreds of thousands of people on the ground, one state after another, fighting this. Conservatives, constitutional conservatives. You hear what I do on this program. All these people behind TV cameras and microphones. Ask them what the hell they're doing.
I've just met like the kindest, most welcoming people who have made me feel empowered.